Nature journaling is usually presented as something that you do outdoors, that you take your sketchbook and your art materials outside and you respond to the landscape around you. Now, there's been conversation in my comments section of some of my earlier videos about what to do and how to nature journal when you can't get outside. There's various reasons that you might not be able to nature journal outside or go on long walks, such as illness or disability, unfavourable climate for outdoor journaling or poor weather conditions, various responsibilities around the home, or just the feeling that you're in an urban environment and there isn't any nature to see. I believe that there's a lot to be gained from nature journaling in the sort of way that you would if you were outside, but done on in an indoor or a very close to home kind of level. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 or 4 different ways that you can take the ideas of nature journaling outside and nature journal at home, but still getting many of the benefits that you get from the prolonged observation of nature nearby. Okay, the first exercise, we're going to begin right here by the window. So you will need a window for this one. Doesn't matter what type of window, just something looking outside. And it doesn't matter if you need to do this from a chair or from a bed. It's all totally fine. Just need a window and a journal page. I'm using this A3 sheet of Bristol paper because I'm going to take you through lots of exercises today. And we're going to do them all on this sheet together and make a really nice page by the end of this. So first off, we're going to sit at the window and just look at everything that we notice outside. I'm really just jotting them down. Let's see what we can see outside the window. Just seeing this blackbird foraging on the edge of the road. I was kind of worried about what would happen when the car came, but the blackbird's pretty fast and it just flew away with its alarm call. Now that I've finished making some general observations about what I can see out the window, I'm going to now do a thumbnail sketch and just look at the landscape that I can see. Doesn't matter what that landscape is, you're going to do a little small drawing or painting of the landscape. And don't worry, it really doesn't have to be any good. Just going to do a little box here. It'll be a bit wobbly. I prefer to draw them freehand rather than with a ruler. I'm just going to fill this up with my own little drawing of what I can see out of the window right now. It's quite fun drawing from my window because I'm finding that all of the little segments of the window are making a kind of natural grid. And so I can draw all what I can see in each box. Considering that gridding is a drawing technique that people use quite a lot, this is really helping me do my drawing. And this is a really very quick drawing, and I'm not too worried about things being perfectly accurate, but I do want to get some of the differences in colours here. And if you imagine yourself drawing your view out the window, lots of different days, going all the way through the year, and perhaps even several different years, imagine what a wonderful record you'd make of how things change close by to you. And you don't even need to leave your house to do it. So that is window journaling. There's lots of other things that you can do with windows as well. This is a series of skyscape drawings that I did, and all of these are little thumbnails. These can be used to look at the sky and also to test out different mediums. Can you paint the sky at different times of day and different times of year? And can you test your different media by trying to paint the same sky? Try to experiment a bit with what you're doing with your art materials, using the same scene over and over again. I taught a tutorial on doing these little skyscapes in Derwent Inktense for the Nature Journaling Circle. So if that's something that you might be interested in learning a bit more about, you can go and have a look at www.naturejournalingcircle.com, and there's the tutorial within the membership over there. Now we're going to look a little bit at research and how to use guidebooks and photographs and all sorts of other things to research the species that are close to you. Now, one of the things that has come up in my comments before is whether you can nature journal from documentaries or other people's photographs or things online. And I'm not going to say that that is not nature journaling. Anything can be nature journaling. It's all about how you perceive your relationship with nature and how you strengthen that relationship through creativity. And that can be done any kind of way. But saying that, as someone who has been nature journaling for 10 years and has been teaching for about half of that time, I have realized that there are certain things that improve your mental health, your well-being, and your connection into the environment more than others. If that's something that you want to gain from nature journaling, I would suggest that you actually research something that is close to home for you, that actually connects you into your environment, something you've seen or something you know to be native to your area. Find out more about that. It doesn't have to be a really exciting species in terms of it being rare. What matters is that we're finding out more about what is around us, and we can do that with anything that we see outside the window. Now, it doesn't really matter especially where you get your information from here, but I consider there to be a bit of a hierarchy in information sources for nature journaling. The very top of the hierarchy is I can see it right now and I can draw it from life right here in this moment. I can't see the blackbird right now. The next thing is whether you have a photograph that you took yourself of your subject. So I don't have a photograph of the blackbird that I took myself in this occasion. So what next? Well, I have plenty of guidebooks and I have online photographs that other people have taken. That's where you can use these sources to embellish upon the experience that you had personally looking at that species. I'm just drawing the blackbird using the image in the guidebook to help me. If you're interested in the method that I'm using here, I have a video about rapid bird sketching right here on the channel, so you can go and find that one. I'm not going to spend too long over these drawings. Just something quick to accompany all of the information that I'm going to look into about this particular type of bird. Now I've got my little drawing of my subject. I'm going to read through all of my books here and find a few key facts that I find interesting about it, and I'm going to write them all around the image. I also want to relate back to the experience that I had with the species. So I'm going to write the little anecdote about the bird foraging by the side of the road. So it comes back to my experience with nature in that moment. And then I'm just going to embellish that with some interesting facts that I found out through my own research. I'm now halfway there with my big nature journal page. For the next part, we are going to go outside, but we don't need to go very far. When I was preparing this video, I thought perhaps we'd go out for a walk in the town to consider a bit of urban nature journaling. The problem is I realised I was being very disingenuous with where I live, and I didn't want to give the impression that this is a standard urban area. So I'm going to save the urban nature journaling for when I'm next in London, and I'll make a special video just about that. For now, I'm going to take a very short walk out in the garden. When you're out walking, try and scan everything. Everywhere, even if it's somewhere familiar, changes on a regular basis. And it's looking at this change that I think is one of the most beneficial and grounding parts of nature journaling. So how far you go on your walk really depends on your level of mobility and how long you think that you can withstand being outdoors. You don't necessarily need to have your sketchbook with you to take one of these walks. In fact, I'm not going to. I'm going to walk slowly around the garden and notice several things, maybe take a few photographs or a few samples. And then I'm going to sit back here on the bench with my page and just have a little look around at everything I can see in the garden. Don't worry if you don't have a garden. You can do this in a local park. You can do it anywhere really, as long as you've got some greenery, or there's loads of information out there that you can use to help you get to know your local area, even if you're unable to get out too much yourself at the moment. Now I'm back on the bench with my sketchbook. I'm going to write down everything I noticed on my micro walk. The thing to do is to write down the things that have changed in the location since the last time you took your micro walk. It's all about documenting those small moments of change. When you sit still outside, sometimes things come to you as well. This little shield bug on the arm of the bench just appeared, and I could immediately start drawing him, putting him into my journal. Now, the last thing we're going to do to finish off the page is take something from our micro walk, either some samples or one of your photographs. I'm going to use these bluebells that I picked from the garden. These are Spanish bluebells, so they're an invasive species, but I really enjoy them in the garden and I've not really done anything to stop them being here. They were here when I moved in and I expect they're going to be here long after we're gone. With your subject from the micro walk, we want to do something different from the window journaling, and this time focus more on some of the small details. So I'm going to look at these bluebells in a lot of detail now and draw them from several different angles to finish off my page. The idea of this exercise is to become curious about the things that we're looking at them from different angles and learning to draw them from different angles as well, seeing all of the different shapes that they make. You can also start to ask questions about things. Why are they this shape? What makes this interesting to me? Is there a reason? Can we look it up maybe later? You don't always have to answer the questions you ask. Sometimes just the act of questioning is enough. Keeping curiosity about the world around us.
Morning comes with the early summer light. Evening comes with a fading summer light. Twilight air drifting through the window, and you're sleeping.
This is my finished page for today. I've included all of the exercises we've done on this single page, and you can get a download of this if you sign up to my newsletter via the link in the description. You can get a PDF of this specific page with all of the instructions on how to try these exercises yourself. Of course, the final way to do indoor nature journaling is to join my Nature Journaling Circle membership. We have over 100 paid members on the site now. It's an encouraging community. You can learn with me live. You can access my reference photographs and loads of tutorials and previous content, courses, everything. You can find all of that at www.naturejournalingcircle.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you've found this useful and you can take some of these techniques to your own indoor or close to home nature journaling. Remember that in itself, nature journaling is mostly about documenting change and documenting your relationship to nature. And it always works best and is most beneficial when you adopt a very localized and very personal approach. Thank you so much for watching today. I'll see you next time.